The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius didn't say this as a motivational quote for comfort. He wrote it as a hard truth about how life actually works. Because no matter what the world throws at you, no matter how chaotic the environment becomes, the final authority over your peace, your calm, and your happiness still lives inside your mind. In a world that constantly tells you what to feel, how to think, who to be, and what success should look like, imagine possessing the power to remain steady, grounded, and unshaken, regardless of the storm around you. That isn't just strength. That's freedom. Stoicism was never about escaping life. It was about mastering it from the inside out. It teaches resilience without bitterness, gratitude without ignorance, and fulfillment without dependency on external validation. This isn't a history lesson meant to impress you with ancient names. This is about you, your mornings, your thoughts, your reactions, your life today. It's about facing the modern world's noise without losing your center, about finding calm where others panic, about discovering happiness not in excess but in simplicity, about turning your mornings from something you rush through into something that launches your entire day with intention, clarity, and quiet power. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by information, expectations, or pressure, if you've ever struggled to sit in silence without reaching for distraction, if you've ever wondered how ancient wisdom could still apply in a world of notifications, deadlines, and constant stimulation, then stay here. Because this isn't about escaping reality, it's about learning how to move through it without being consumed by it. Stoicism doesn't promise an easy life. It promises a strong mind. And that strength begins the moment you wake up. The way you start your day isn't just routine, it's philosophy in action. If you're still listening, understand this. Most people don't seek depth. They seek comfort. The fact that you're here tells me you're different. You're someone who wants mastery, not motivation, wisdom, not noise. And that choice alone already sets you apart. There's a concept from Japan that aligns perfectly with Stoic thinking, not as a trend, not as a buzzword, but as a lived principle. It's the idea of discovering the point where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what sustains you financially all meet. That place gives your life direction. It gives your mornings meaning. Marcus Aurelius believed deeply that every human being has a role to play. Not for applause, but for contribution. He didn't wake up asking what the world owed him. He woke up asking how he could fulfill his role with integrity. Purpose in Stoicism isn't found. It's practiced daily. And when your actions align with that deeper purpose, even ordinary tasks stop feeling empty. You stop dragging yourself through the day. You start moving with direction. Purpose doesn't appear overnight. It reveals itself through reflection, honesty, and patience. Asking yourself difficult questions. Sitting with uncertainty without rushing for answers. And as you align your actions with what truly matters, something shifts. Your mornings stop feeling heavy. Your mind becomes quieter. Your focus sharper. Happiness becomes less fleeting, less dependent on outcomes. This is what Stoicism offers. Not pleasure, but peace. Not excitement, but stability. And stability is what allows joy to last. The Stoics understood something modern life constantly makes us forget. The quality of your day is decided before the day even begins. How you spend your evening shapes your morning, and how you start your morning shapes your life. Scrolling endlessly at night doesn't relax your mind, it fragments it. Stoicism isn't about restriction for suffering's sake. It's about choosing what serves you. Preparing for rest is an act of respect toward your future self. A calm night creates a focused morning. A focused morning creates a controlled day. Control doesn't mean rigidity, it means awareness. Choosing when to engage. Choosing when to step back. Choosing intention over impulse. Imagine waking up without immediately handing your attention to the digital world. No alerts, no headlines, no comparison. Just stillness. Just breath. Just presence. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake up reacting to chaos. He prepared himself to meet it. He trained his mind before the world could train it for him. And that practice is more relevant now than ever. Attention is your most valuable resource. Where you place it determines the quality of your life. When you protect your mornings, you protect your mind. Waking up at the same time every day isn't discipline for discipline's sake. It's a declaration of self-respect. It's saying, I decide how my day begins. Consistency builds trust with yourself, and trust is the foundation of confidence. Some mornings will be harder than others. Stoicism doesn't deny that. It asks you to rise anyway, not through force, but through purpose. Each morning you keep your word to yourself. You strengthen your character. And character is what carries you when motivation fades. And when you fail, because you will, Stoicism doesn't ask you to punish yourself. It asks you to learn, reset, and continue. Self-compassion isn't weakness. It's intelligence. Growth isn't linear. It's built through patience, forgiveness, and persistence. Every morning is a new chance to practice virtue, not perfection. Presence. Stoicism reminds us again and again that real power is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't rush. It doesn't react impulsively. It observes, it chooses, and then it acts with intention. This is why the Stoics place so much importance on the small, almost invisible actions that shape our days. Because character isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in repetition, in how you rise, in how you prepare yourself mentally before the world makes its demands. When you choose to wake up with intention, you're not just getting out of bed, you're practicing self-mastery. You're training your mind to lead instead of follow, to act instead of react. Consistency, though simple in theory, tests us deeply in practice. Your mind will bargain. Your body will resist. Comfort will whisper that you can start tomorrow. And this is where Stoicism becomes practical rather than philosophical. The Stoics didn't wait for motivation. They relied on commitment. They understood that feelings change, but principles don't. Waking up at the same time every morning is not about forcing productivity. It's about creating reliability within yourself. When you become someone who keeps promises to themselves, your confidence stops being dependent on external approval. It becomes internal, stable, unshakable. And yet, Stoicism is never cruel. It doesn't ask you to be harsh with yourself. It asks you to be honest. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not for the public, but for himself. As reminders, not accusations. He understood that the human mind wanders, resists, avoids discomfort, and instead of punishing himself for that, he gently redirected himself back to what mattered. This is an essential lesson. When you fall off your routine, when you oversleep, when you lose focus, the task isn't self-judgment. The task is return. Return to awareness. Return to intention. Return to the next right action. Small acts of discipline carry immense weight. Something as simple as placing your alarm across the room, isn't about physical movement. It's symbolic. It's a decision made in advance to choose awareness over comfort, to stand up instead of sinking deeper into ease. Making your bed, clearing your space, preparing your environment, these are not trivial acts. They are messages you send to yourself. They say, my life matters. My space matters. My time matters. The Stoics believed that order in the external world supports order in the internal one. When you respect your surroundings, you reinforce self-respect. Discipline isn't about control for control's sake. It's about readiness. A disciplined mind doesn't panic when plans change. It adapts. It doesn't collapse under pressure. It responds calmly. These small rituals in the morning are training grounds. They prepare you for larger challenges. If you can choose intention over impulse in the quiet of the morning, you're far more likely to do so when life tests you later in the day. And still, no one is meant to walk this path entirely alone. The Stoics valued community deeply. Not shallow connection, but meaningful relationships grounded in honesty and shared growth. Accountability isn't about pressure. It's about perspective. When you share your commitments with someone who understands your values, your goals become more real, more anchored. An accountability partner doesn't control you. They remind you of who you said you wanted to be. They reflect your intentions back to you when your resolve wavers. Growth accelerates when it's witnessed. When someone else knows your intentions, your actions carry more weight. This isn't dependence, it's collaboration. The Stoics believed wisdom multiplies when shared. That character is refined through dialogue, reflection, and mutual encouragement. Having someone to check in with, someone who walks a similar path, turns discipline from isolation into connection, and connection strengthens resolve. But even deeper than discipline and accountability lies the Stoic awareness of impermanence, not as something morbid, but as something clarifying. Remembering that time is limited sharpens focus. It strips away trivial worries. It reminds you that each morning is not guaranteed. It is offered, and how you use it matters. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on mortality, not to instill fear, but to awaken urgency. A quiet urgency. One that says, live, don't postpone presence. Don't delay becoming who you're capable of being. When you wake up with this awareness, your priorities shift. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You become more selective with your attention, more intentional with your actions. The morning becomes sacred not because it's early, but because it's yours. A space untouched by expectation. A moment to align yourself before stepping into the world. Stoicism teaches us that peace is not found by escaping responsibility, but by meeting it with clarity. And that clarity begins in stillness, in reflection, in choosing how you want to show up. Not just today, but consistently. The morning is your first chance to practice that choice, to decide who leads, impulse or intention, distraction or discipline, fear or focus. The Stoics understood something that modern life often hides from us. Clarity is not loud, and peace is not passive. Real calm is earned. It comes from knowing what is within your control and releasing your grip on everything that is not. Each morning, before the world speaks to you, you are given a brief window of sovereignty, a moment where nothing is demanded yet. That moment is powerful. And what you do with it determines the tone of everything that follows. When you learn to sit in that quiet without reaching for distraction, without needing stimulation, you begin to train the most valuable skill of all, presence. Presence is not empty. It's alert. It's grounded. It's the ability to witness your thoughts without being ruled by them. Stoicism never asked you to eliminate emotion. It taught you how not to be enslaved by it. Anger, fear, anxiety, these are natural signals, not commands. The disciplined mind observes them, acknowledges them, and then chooses a response aligned with reason and values. This is why Stoics emphasized morning reflection. Before the noise begins, you remind yourself of who you are, what matters, and how you intend to act, regardless of what the day brings. Marcus Aurelius often prepared himself for difficulty before it arrived, not with dread, but with acceptance. He reminded himself that he would encounter selfishness, ignorance, impatience, and resistance, and that none of these things could harm his character unless he allowed them to. This mental preparation didn't make him cold. It made him compassionate without being weak, calm without being passive, strong without being aggressive. When you begin your mornings with this mindset, you stop being surprised by difficulty. You stop taking resistance personally. You move through challenges with steadiness instead of emotional exhaustion. And then there is the Stoic understanding of happiness, perhaps the most misunderstood part of the philosophy. Happiness was never defined as pleasure or comfort. It was defined as living in alignment with virtue, acting with wisdom, courage, discipline, and justice. Happiness, in this sense, is a byproduct, not something chased, but something earned. When your actions reflect your values, peace follows naturally. You don't need constant validation. You don't need applause. You feel internally settled. This is why the Stoics place such importance on simplicity, not minimalism as an aesthetic, but clarity as a way of life. Removing excess creates space. Space to think, space to breathe, space to choose intentionally. A simple morning routine, waking consistently, reflecting briefly, preparing your environment does more for your mental clarity than hours of chaotic productivity. It reminds you that you don't need more to be fulfilled. You need alignment. Mortality once again becomes a teacher here, not as fear, but as perspective. When you remember that your time is limited, your tolerance for nonsense decreases. You stop postponing what matters. You stop numbing yourself with distractions that leave you empty. Each morning becomes a quiet reminder. You are alive today. You are here now. Use it well. The Stoics didn't wait for the perfect moment. They acted where they stood, with what they had. Over time, this practice reshapes you. You become slower to anger, quicker to reflect, less reactive, more deliberate. You don't waste energy on things outside your control. You don't argue with reality. You meet it as it is and decide how to move forward with integrity. This is inner freedom. Not the absence of struggle, but the presence of self-command. And as days turn into weeks and weeks into years, you begin to realize something profound. The world didn't change nearly as much as you did. The chaos is still there. The noise still exists. The pressure hasn't disappeared, but it no longer owns you. You've built a center that remains steady regardless of circumstances. That is Stoic strength. Quiet, durable, earned. So when tomorrow morning arrives, remember this. You don't need motivation. You need clarity. You don't need control over everything. You need mastery over yourself. Wake up with intention. Sit in stillness. Choose your response. before the world chooses for you. Practice virtue in small moments and understand that every calm morning is not just a routine. It's a declaration. A declaration that your mind belongs to you, that your time matters, that your life is something you actively shape one deliberate morning at a time. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a clarity so sharp, so undeniable, that every decision you make feels aligned with the life you dream of. Not just any life, the one that makes your heart race, the one that fills your mind with purpose before the world even whispers its distractions. Today, you're on the brink of understanding something almost every person in the world overlooks, that success isn't accidental. It's not luck. It's not something someone hands to you. Success is born from the unshakable focus of your mind, the deliberate choice to pursue what truly matters, the refusal to let the noise of the world steer your course. Every second you spend scattered, every moment you give away to doubt, worry, or distraction is a second stolen from your future self. Think about it. How many people wander through their days letting their thoughts be hijacked by what others say, by what the media tells them, by fleeting desires that lead nowhere? They are alive, yes, but they are not living. They are surviving. You, right now, have the power to rise above that, the power to focus, to channel every ounce of your energy into a single unwavering direction. Focus on success, and everything else begins to fall into place. Success is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, with precision, consistency, and unrelenting energy. It's about identifying the core of what moves you forward, stripping away everything that distracts, and embracing a life where every action has intention. You must ask yourself, what is the one thing, the single thread, that if I pull it today, will move me closer to the life I want? Answer that question honestly, not with excuses, not with what-ifs, but with clarity, conviction, and courage. Because the mind is the battlefield where success is won or lost, and focus is your greatest weapon. When you wake up in the morning, do not let the world dictate your priorities. The emails, the notifications, the endless scrolling. These are illusions of importance. They are designed to scatter your attention, to weaken your will, and to keep you mediocre. You are not here to be ordinary. You are here to conquer, to rise, and to leave a mark. Success begins when you protect the first hours of your day, when you dedicate your mind to clarity, discipline, and purposeful action before distractions even appear. This is where champions are made, not in moments of comfort, not in fleeting inspiration, but in the daily deliberate mastery of your mind. Every great achievement in history began with focus. Think of the inventors, the entrepreneurs, the leaders who reshaped the world. They did not wait for the perfect moment. They created it. They said no to distraction, no to mediocrity, and yes to action, yes to persistence, yes to themselves. And now it's your turn. Today, you declare that your focus is stronger than your excuses, that your vision is brighter than your doubts, that your success is inevitable because you are relentless in your pursuit. Chapter 2. Clarity is power. Success begins with clarity. Imagine waking up every morning with a mind foggy, scattered, pulled in 1,000 directions, with no real sense of what matters most, and trying to conquer the day. That is chaos disguised as busyness. Now imagine the exact opposite. A mind laser-focused, every thought purposeful, every action deliberate, every step aligned with your vision. That is the power of clarity. Clarity is not just knowing what you want. It is knowing why you want it, how to achieve it, and what must be sacrificed along the way. Without it, action becomes wasted effort, energy becomes scattered, and potential remains unrealized. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the most talented, the richest, or the luckiest. They are the ones who understand where to point their energy, what deserves their focus, and what does not. They know that every hour, every minute, every second counts, and that wasted energy is opportunity stolen from themselves. Today, you are claiming that power for yourself. You are committing to eliminating the noise, shutting out distractions, and deciding what is worthy of your time. The emails can wait, the notifications can wait, the outside world can wait, because right now your mind is sacred, your vision clear, and your focus unstoppable. Clarity is not something you stumble upon. It is something you deliberately cultivate. It begins with reflection, asking yourself the hard questions. What is truly important? What will move the needle in my life? Which actions bring me closer to my vision? And which simply fill time without purpose? Many people avoid these questions because the answers are uncomfortable. The truth often requires admitting where we are wasting our energy, which habits are holding us back, and which relationships drain us instead of lift us. But the moment you face these truths, a remarkable thing happens. The world no longer overwhelms you. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable become manageable. Opportunities that once passed unnoticed now shine brightly, and decisions that once paralyzed you are made with confidence. Clarity cuts through the chaos like a blade, revealing the path forward. Think of your day as a battlefield. Every distraction, every temptation, every idle thought is an enemy attempting to steal your focus and derail your progress. But armed with clarity, you become a master strategist. You anticipate, you plan, you act decisively. Nothing moves you from your trajectory because you know exactly where you are going. You have identified your priorities and your energy flows toward them like water channeled into a riverbed, strong, unstoppable, purposeful. And when obstacles arise, and they will, you face them not with panic, not with hesitation, but with confidence. Because clarity has already illuminated your way forward. You know which battles to fight and which to leave behind. You know where to invest your time, your energy, and your heart, and you refuse to be distracted by the trivial, the petty, and the unnecessary. Clarity also demands reflection on your past actions. To focus on success, you must examine what worked, what didn't, and why. Success is not a random gift of fortune. It is the outcome of deliberate, intentional action over time. Every choice you have made has led you to this moment. Every habit, every decision, every thought pattern has either propelled you forward or held you back. Understanding this is not about guilt or regret. It is about insight and power. You cannot control the past, but you can harness its lessons. By reflecting on your actions with honesty and courage, you build a foundation of knowledge, a map for your future decisions, a guide for your energy. Clarity is not passive. It is active, analytical, and disciplined. It is the bedrock of every successful life. Finally, clarity transforms your relationship with time. Time is the most precious currency of your life, yet most people spend it aimlessly, trading it for distractions that offer no return. When your mind is clear, every moment is intentional. You wake up with purpose, work with direction, and rest with peace, knowing that each day has been invested wisely. Your focus becomes a force field around your time, protecting it from waste, protecting it from interruption, protecting it from anything that does not serve your ultimate vision. This is the invisible superpower of success, the ability to navigate life with precision, to move faster, further, and stronger than those who drift, distracted and overwhelmed through their hours. Today, you embrace that superpower. Today, you choose clarity, You focus your mind, sharpen your vision, and take decisive action. The world may try to scatter your energy, but your focus is now unshakable. You are the master of your attention, the architect of your life, and the commander of your destiny. Success is not just a goal. It is a natural consequence of a mind clear, strong, and fully aligned with purpose. Chapter 3. Discipline is freedom. Success is never accidental. It is never given freely. It is earned, forged, and sculpted through the relentless practice of discipline. Discipline is not a punishment. It is the gateway to freedom, the vehicle that transforms dreams into reality. Imagine a life where every decision, every action, every thought is aligned with your highest purpose. This is not a fantasy. This is the life of those who have mastered themselves, who have taken the reins of their mind and refused to let impulses, distractions, or fleeting temptations dictate the course of their destiny. Discipline is the invisible power that separates those who wish from those who achieve, those who dream from those who do. Without it, focus dissolves. Without it, clarity becomes wasted insight. Without it, potential remains locked inside you, waiting for a key only discipline can provide. True discipline begins with small victories. It is not about grand gestures or heroic feats done once in a while. It is about daily commitment, repeated action, and consistency in the face of resistance. The alarm clock ringing in the early morning is a test, not a burden. Choosing to rise while others sleep is not an act of hardship. It is an act of sovereignty over your own life. Each morning you follow through on your commitments, even when you feel tired, unmotivated, or doubtful. You are building the muscle of self-mastery. This is the muscle that will carry you through challenges far greater than waking up early. This is the muscle that will hold you steady when adversity strikes, when the world resists you, when every voice outside your mind screams that you are not enough. Discipline, in its purest form, is freedom. The freedom to live life on your terms, to create your reality instead of reacting to someone else's, to shape the world around you through the mastery of yourself. But here is a truth few people understand. Discipline is not rigid, cold, or joyless. It is vibrant. It is alive. It is the art of aligning your daily actions with your vision so completely that your work becomes effortless, your energy becomes exponential, and your confidence becomes unshakable. Discipline does not limit you. It liberates you. It gives you the power to focus on what matters, to reject the trivial, and to harness every ounce of your potential. Consider the tasks you dread, the actions you delay, the responsibilities you ignore. Discipline is the bridge that transforms those obstacles into opportunities, those burdens into triumphs, those moments of hesitation into steps toward victory. Every successful person knows this. They know that talent alone will not sustain them. They know that desire alone will not carry them forward. What moves the needle is relentless action, fueled by unwavering discipline. Consider the entrepreneur who wakes before dawn, the artist who sketches every morning, the athlete who trains when the world sleeps. They have not discovered some secret shortcut. They have discovered the power of habitual commitment, the compounding effect of repeated disciplined effort over time. Discipline becomes their rhythm, their heartbeat, their engine for progress. And you can do the same. Today, you can decide to move from chaos to control, from indecision to mastery, from distraction to focused action. Discipline also demands courage, the courage to say no. No to distractions, no to excuses, no to the comfortable, the easy, the convenient. Every time you choose the path of resistance, every time you prioritize your long-term vision over temporary pleasure, you are strengthening your focus, sharpening your clarity, and solidifying your path to success. Freedom is not found in indulgence. It is found in mastery. Freedom is not found in fleeting pleasures. It is found in purposeful action. And discipline is the key that unlocks that freedom. Every choice you make today, every action, every refusal, every step toward your goals echoes into your future, shaping the reality you will inhabit. The power is not in external circumstances. It is in the decisions you make consistently, every single day, fueled by discipline, guided by clarity, and anchored in focus. Today, choose discipline, choose commitment, choose action. Let every moment of resistance become a moment of growth. Let every hesitation become an opportunity to prove your resolve. And as you do, notice how freedom emerges, not as something given to you, but as something claimed, earned, and cultivated through the relentless practice of mastery over your own mind and body. Discipline is not a cage. Discipline is the key. Discipline is the engine of success. And when you harness it fully, your life ceases to be a series of random events and becomes a deliberate masterpiece, a life shaped entirely by your focus, your vision, and your will. Chapter 4. Habits define destiny. Your destiny is not written in the stars. It is written in the daily choices you make, the small actions you repeat over and over, the habits that silently shape your character and your future. Success is not an accident. It is a consequence of habits, both conscious and unconscious. Imagine two people with equal talent, equal opportunity, equal drive. The difference is invisible at first glance. It lies in the habits they practice, the consistency with which they invest in themselves, and the choices they make when no one is watching. Every successful individual, without exception, has mastered the art of habits. They understand that the extraordinary life they lead is built not on luck or fleeting motivation, but on the daily rituals that compound over time. Habits are powerful because they are invisible forces. They either pull you toward greatness or slowly drift you toward mediocrity. You may not notice them at first, the early mornings, the disciplined workouts, the reading, the journaling, the focused work sessions, but each small act compounds. 1 hour spent intentionally each day might seem insignificant now, but over a year, it becomes hundreds of hours of growth, mastery, and progress. These seemingly small decisions are the building blocks of success, and the beauty is that you are in control. You can choose the habits that serve your vision and let go of those that do not. The choice is yours. And the moment you accept this power, you take the first step toward true freedom. Think about your environment, your routine, and your daily triggers. Habits are not formed by willpower alone. They are shaped by the system around you. Remove distractions. Design your surroundings to support the life you want. If you want to wake up early, place your alarm across the room. If you want to read more, keep books in sight. If you want to exercise, prepare your gear the night before. Small environmental tweaks amplify your habits, creating momentum that makes success almost inevitable. Momentum is a force. Once you start moving consistently in the right direction, the universe seems to align. Doors open, opportunities appear, and your focus sharpens. Habits are the invisible hand that guides you toward your destiny. Yet, building habits is not always easy. Resistance is natural. The mind will crave comfort, the body will resist effort, and the heart will seek shortcuts. But habits are forged through persistence, through showing up even when you don't feel like it, through choosing long-term results over short-term pleasure. This is the essence of discipline, the companion of focus, the foundation of success. Each time you push past the resistance, each time you act despite hesitation, you are rewiring your mind, strengthening your will, and laying another brick in the foundation of your extraordinary life. Remember, habits do more than shape your day. They shape your identity. When you consistently act in alignment with your vision, your actions define who you are. The person who wakes up early, works hard, reads daily, and prioritizes growth becomes someone worthy of success. Identity is the engine behind achievement. If you want to succeed, become the type of person who succeeds naturally. Let your habits sculpt that identity. Let repetition reinforce it, and let each conscious action pull you closer to the life you desire. Today, commit to examining your routines. Identify the habits that serve your purpose and ruthlessly eliminate those that hold you back. Each small action is a vote for the person you are becoming. And as those votes accumulate, they create a momentum so strong, so unstoppable, that success is no longer a question. It is inevitable. Your habits are the silent architects of your destiny. They do not ask permission. They do not wait for motivation. They work relentlessly in the background, shaping your life in ways that will astound you if you remain consistent, patient, and intentional. Success is a reflection of your daily practices, your repeated actions, and your unwavering commitment to growth. The life you dream of is not distant or unreachable. It is constructed every day, one habit at a time. Choose wisely, act deliberately, and as you cultivate habits that serve your vision, remember this: extraordinary lives are not born, they are built. Each day, each choice, each habit is a brick in the foundation of your future. Build with intention, build with focus, build with relentless dedication, and your destiny will emerge, shaped not by chance, but by your unwavering will and your commitment to your highest self. Chapter 5. Mindset is the game changer. Your mind is the battlefield of your success. The thoughts you nurture, the beliefs you hold, and the stories you tell yourself determine whether you will rise to greatness or settle for mediocrity. Success does not begin with skill, opportunity, or even resources. It begins with the mind. Imagine a world where your thoughts are aligned with your purpose, where every idea, every plan, every decision is guided by clarity, conviction, and unshakable belief. This is the power of mindset, the invisible force that dictates the trajectory of your life long before your actions even unfold. A weak mind will sabotage even the most favorable circumstances. A resilient, focused, and disciplined mind will extract victory from adversity, turn obstacles into opportunities, and convert setbacks into stepping stones. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary success and those who merely dream lies in mental mastery. It's not about being born smarter, stronger, or luckier. It's about training your mind to perceive challenges as lessons, failures as feedback, and every setback as a signal to rise stronger. The mind that embraces growth sees beyond fear, doubt, and uncertainty. It refuses to entertain excuses. It rejects the comfort of inaction. It understands that your future is crafted not by chance, but by the relentless cultivation of thoughts that serve your vision. Every day you have the choice. Will your mind be your ally or your adversary? Will you feed it fear, hesitation, and negativity? Or will you fuel it with courage, clarity, and unstoppable belief in your potential? Your mindset is forged in the small decisions you make consistently. How you respond to setbacks, criticism, and challenges today will determine your capacity to succeed tomorrow. If you react impulsively, let emotions dictate your actions, or surrender to the voice of self-doubt, you give away your power. But if you choose patience, reflection, and deliberate response, you create a mental fortress that no external circumstance can penetrate. Every successful person you admire has developed this fortress. They have chosen daily to train their thoughts, to cultivate resilience, and to protect their focus as fiercely as a warrior guards their most valuable possession. Your mind is that possession. Guard it, strengthen it, nourish it, and it will propel you toward heights you never imagined. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools to shape your mindset and direct your energy. Close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving the goals you desire. Feel the exhilaration, the pride, the satisfaction coursing through every cell of your body. Imagine facing obstacles and overcoming them with calm, strategic focus. Imagine every challenge bending to your will because your mind is prepared, sharp, and unshakable. This is not daydreaming. It is strategic mental conditioning. By rehearsing success in your mind, you prime your brain to recognize opportunities, anticipate challenges, and act decisively when it matters most. The mind that rehearses success naturally attracts the people, resources, and circumstances that will manifest it in reality. Equally important is the discipline to manage negative self-talk and destructive beliefs. The stories you tell yourself, "I am not enough," "This is too hard," "I will never succeed," are poisonous. They erode confidence, distract focus, and drain energy. But every time you challenge these thoughts, replace them with empowering alternatives, and affirm your capabilities, you rewire your brain for success. Affirmation is not a gimmick. It is a daily practice of asserting control over your most powerful tool, your mind. Your thoughts, beliefs, and internal dialogue are the architects of your reality. When aligned with purpose, they lay the blueprint for achievement. When left unchecked, they construct limitations that imprison your potential. Action is the proof of mindset. You can visualize, affirm, and plan endlessly, but if the mind is not married to decisive action, success remains a dream. A strong mindset creates the courage to act in the face of fear, to persist in the face of resistance, and to endure in the face of setbacks. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, that you are in control of your destiny. Momentum builds as these actions compound, creating a powerful cycle. Mindset drives action, action reinforces mindset, and together they propel you toward inevitable success. So today, make a choice. Claim the power of your mind. Feed it thoughts that serve your purpose. Visualize the success you desire. Challenge every limiting belief. Align your mindset with relentless focus, unwavering commitment, and unstoppable resilience. Understand this: the mind is not just a tool. It is the engine of your success. When you master it, when you direct it with precision, it will carry you past obstacles, through challenges, and into a life of achievement, abundance, and extraordinary fulfillment. Your thoughts are not idle. They are destiny in motion. Guard them, train them, and let them lead you to the success that is waiting, ready, and fully within your reach. Chapter 6. Discipline is your superpower. Discipline is the silent force behind every success story you admire. Talent, luck, and opportunity can give you a head start, But discipline is what carries you through the storms, overcomes fatigue, and outlasts fleeting motivation. Imagine the most successful people you know, the entrepreneurs, athletes, visionaries, and ask yourself what they all have in common. It isn't genius alone, nor is it mere luck. It is discipline, practiced daily, without compromise, often when no one else is watching. Discipline is choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort, consistency over chaos, and action over hesitation. It is the superpower that transforms dreams into reality. Without discipline, even the clearest vision is powerless. With it, even modest talent can create extraordinary results. Discipline starts with self-awareness, understanding your tendencies, weaknesses, and distractions, and designing your life to minimize them. It's about making hard choices before the pressure mounts, about setting boundaries that protect your focus, about creating routines that anchor your actions in purpose. Every decision from the moment you wake up to the last thought before sleep is an opportunity to exercise discipline. Will you check your phone immediately upon waking, or will you take time to center yourself, plan your day, and align with your priorities? Will you eat what's convenient, or fuel your body with what strengthens it? Will you quit when the task is hard, or persist because you know your growth is forged in resistance? Discipline is not punishment. It is the practice of self-respect, the commitment to your own success, and the refusal to let fleeting desire dictate your destiny. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Each small act, repeated consistently, builds momentum that becomes unstoppable. Waking up early, completing your work with focus, prioritizing health, learning every day, reflecting on your actions, all these are acts of discipline. At first, they may feel tedious, unnecessary, or exhausting, but over time, they transform the very structure of your life. The small victories become habits, the habits become character, and the character becomes destiny. Discipline is not a one-time act. It is a lifestyle, a commitment to yourself that you honor every day, even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or challenging. Motivation alone is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. Discipline, however, is steady, consistent, and unwavering. It doesn't require inspiration. It requires commitment. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It thrives at adversity. The disciplined individual acts even when tired, even when distracted, even when doubts arise. They understand that success is not about feeling ready. It's about showing up, doing the work, and trusting that their consistency will produce results. Every time you practice discipline, you prove to yourself that you are in control, that you are capable, and that you are willing to do what others won't. Discipline is also the antidote to procrastination, the key that unlocks latent potential, and the bridge between intention and execution. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack follow-through. Ideas without action, dreams without persistence, goals without routine, they are meaningless without discipline. It is the force that turns ambition into accomplishment, effort into mastery, and vision into reality. Discipline allows you to endure discomfort, resist temptation, and maintain focus on what truly matters. It creates freedom within structure, power within restraint, and opportunity within consistency. To cultivate discipline, start by designing your environment, your routines, and your priorities to support it. Remove distractions, automate good habits, and set clear rules for yourself. Break your goals into actionable steps and follow them relentlessly. Celebrate the small victories, but never mistake them for the end. Discipline is a lifelong pursuit, a muscle that grows stronger with practice, and a mindset that refuses to compromise on excellence. When you embrace discipline fully, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your potential. You become the master of your life, the architect of your destiny, and the force that transforms possibility into reality. Remember, success is not a gift. It is earned through relentless, intentional, and unwavering discipline. Your talent, your vision, and your hard work are amplified by this power, transforming ordinary effort into extraordinary results. When you cultivate discipline, you are no longer at the mercy of fleeting motivation or external circumstance. You are unstoppable. You are focused. You are relentless. And you are destined to achieve the success that others only dream of. The choice is yours. Let discipline lead and watch your life transform beyond what you ever imagined. Chapter 7. Unstoppable Action. The final step. Success is not a dream. It is a decision. It is the relentless choice to act, to rise every time you fall, and to refuse to let fear, doubt, or hesitation dictate your future. Many people talk about wanting success, but few are willing to pay the price it demands. Action separates dreamers from achievers. Without action, vision is wasted, potential is ignored, and talent remains dormant. The world does not reward intention. It rewards execution. It rewards those who move, who persist, who take the steps, even when the path is unclear, even when the odds are stacked against them. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They act. They act decisively, consistently, and courageously, knowing that motion creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Taking action is not always glamorous. It requires courage to face discomfort, resilience to endure setbacks, and faith to continue when results are invisible. You will encounter obstacles, failures, and criticism, and yet, the only way forward is through consistent, unstoppable action. Procrastination is the enemy of success. Hesitation is its thief. The moment you delay, you give away time, the most valuable currency in your life. Every small step you take, no matter how insignificant it may feel, compounds into extraordinary outcomes. Each decision to act aligns you closer to your vision, transforms your mindset, and strengthens your resolve. You are not merely moving. You are creating a force that pulls the universe in your favor. Bold action is fueled by clarity and purpose. When you know why you are pursuing success, when your goals are vivid and your intentions are clear, action becomes inevitable. Fear may whisper, doubt may challenge, and comfort may tempt you to stop, but purpose fuels perseverance. You act not because it is easy, but because it is essential. You act because every day wasted in hesitation is an opportunity lost. Every day spent waiting for perfect conditions is a day your competitors, your ambitions, and even your own potential surpass you. Action is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is about doing the next right thing relentlessly, over and over again, until your dreams are no longer visions, but reality. Success is a journey, but it is also a mindset. Those who act fearlessly do not wait for motivation. They create it through movement. Each completed task, each challenge overcome, and each small victory reinforces belief in their abilities. The mind and body are partners in action. Discipline fuels motion. Focus directs it, and courage accelerates it. When all three align, unstoppable energy flows, and results become inevitable. Action, therefore, is not just physical. It is mental, emotional, and spiritual. It is the embodiment of belief, the manifestation of preparation, and the proof of dedication. Do not underestimate the power of starting. The first step may feel small, insignificant, or even uncomfortable, but it holds the power to change everything. Momentum begins the instant you act. Once you take the first step, clarity emerges, direction appears, and confidence grows. Fear diminishes, and your mind recognizes that challenges are not walls. They are hurdles meant to be overcome. Every action compounds. Every step forward strengthens your foundation, sharpens your skills, and brings you closer to mastery. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the engine that drives success forward relentlessly, day after day. Now, imagine yourself living fully in this truth. Every morning, you wake with purpose. Every hour, you act with intention. Every challenge is met with courage. Every failure is treated as feedback, and every success is celebrated as a milestone, not a destination. You are no longer passive in your life. You are the architect of your reality. You move because you are committed, not because it is convenient. You persevere